in Cherokee, North Carolina at Judaculla Rock. Entering into this area. So beautiful. Judaculla Rock. And apparently it's a rock that predates Cherokees, that has microorganisms carved into it, and apparently there's a copper vein here with some magnetic anomalies. So myself and Yahe decided we would take a pilgrimage and go see Judaculla Rock near Cullowhee, near Silva, in Cherokee National Forest. Judaculla Rock. Interesting rocks already. I don't know if we should have stopped there or should continue, but I guess we're continuing. See some prayer flags up here.
And he said park before you don't go in their property.
Do what now?
I think he said we park somewhere. Oh yeah, still ways to go up. He said we don't go into up their road. But we haven't seen the rock yet. I don't think.
I would imagine. He said it's a big deal. There'd be signs and stuff.
Yeah, right. He said this is as far as we can go.
This is it. Okay.
But this is their property,
So
we don't block their property.
Where do we go?
We stop.
I gotta turn around, right?
Yeah, we stop and turn around. Or something. And just park on the other side.
On the side here?
Yeah. That is cool. Right, it's real close to the gate line.
There's. You think right over here is good enough?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And there's the board that tells you, they show you some of the writing.
Okay. I don't think I need anything except for my phone and my keys. If you could lock it. Oh, I'm sorry. You got out. Are you okay? Were you able to lock it? Yes, I did. Thank you. There it is. That is the sacred rock, I would imagine. I think it's okay to just walk down there.
They don't want you to touch the block.
Right, right.
that a way you can walk? So you got a picture of the symbols they say are in the petroglyphs, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow, it's really interesting.
What did that sign say right there, Journey? No what?
Please no climbing on the rock.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really interesting design. For whatever reason, it reminds me of a map. It reminds me of a lot of the South American rock art as a preliminary for a design for the area or a map of the area. It kind of looks similar to the way that there's a star chart, I believe in, I don't remember what town, Scotland or somewhere. It's very hard to make out some of the images, but it's neat that we have the diagram to kind of help. What do you think about these? At the bottom here, there's a more 3D place. You've got this one little ledge here that's almost like a round top to a, I don't know, I still kind of feel like it's a map, but I honestly don't know. And then maybe a gorge or a river depicting levels. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 levels almost. And maybe a runoff space for water or for who knows what they were using. You know? Are they doing metal work here? Are they pouring molten metal onto it and letting it drip down the channels that they've created? Are they using it simply as a map or as a language or as a graffiti or as a description of the area? It's so interesting. Tiny faces. I see a tree. Or a forest or a sense of direction. And then over here is some more distinct things under some of these big lines. There does seem to be runoff channels. 1, 2, 3. Almost like a map of the geology of the slope. Could it be a smaller version of the larger area? But it does look like almost like graffiti or anyway, I don't know, it's very interesting. Kitawa handprint. Angry giant landed. Okay, so once a party of disrespectful hunters came through his land. Who is his? Blue Ridge, the person's land. Chased Judaculla chased them down. the mountain with a mighty leap. The angry giant landed near Caney Fork on a large boulder, putting his hand down to steady himself. He left his mark on the rocks. The impression of his hand can still be seen in the lower right corner of the rock. So that's what they're saying is the hand. I don't see a hand print.
They show it right here in the picture.
This? Oh, I see. Okay. Where is it on the rock, though? In the right corner. So they're saying it's right there. Lower right corner? Maybe.
See the roads? See them running?
Yeah.
See the cross lane right here?
Yeah.
It's right below that cross lane.
In the middle there?
Yeah, it's just hard to see.
It doesn't look like a giant's hand.
Well, if you're thinking about your hand. But if you look at it, it's got more than 5 fingers on it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Like the oddity.
Huh. Wouldn't it make sense if it was a giant's hand that it would be bigger? Or am I just not seeing it?
You're just not seeing it. Because I'm not seeing it.
I'm not seeing it either.
Yeah, I'm legally blind, so I'm not going to see it.
But it's neat to get it on camera.
It's on there, and it's right under the line there.
Okay.
It's where the crossroads, one line is going down.
Should be like right here.
It's on the right-hand side of the rock, Journey, if you look at the rock.
Look, my shadow. Yep. It fits right in that spot.
So that's the area.
Maybe they were using, look at the sun, maybe they were using the shadow of the sun, and the giant's hand was the shadow, because if he was standing where I'm standing on a platform, he would be much taller than me, and the sun at this hour would obviously cast the same shadow if he was as tall as...
They're not saying it's a shadow.
Right, I know. I'm just interpreting what I see.
The opposite direction of your hand.
And I still don't even see it. I see it here. That's what you're talking about. And I don't see it there for some reason. Oh yeah, I do. It's right next to it. There it is. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So apparently it's that. And he came down this way.
Oh yeah, I see the hand, the shadow. It looks almost like a person with 2 arms on one side, 1 arm on the other side, standing on their head.
Really interesting either way.
Yeah, 'cause my eyes don't see good. If they want to, they can even say there's a big footprint in there that looks like about a size 12 or 14.
Was the rock itself from heaven? They said like once, so...
That would make it a meteorite.
Right. With a mighty leap, the angry giant landed near Caney Fork on a large boulder. But is this the large boulder that he landed on? Putting his hand down to steady himself, he left his mark on the rock's surface. The impression of his hand can still be seen at the lower right corner. So, but sometimes the folklore leads to a greater truth that is just misunderstood. And look how interesting that rock looks. Imagine if that rock was propelled through the air somehow with a giant riding on top of it, and it came to land
I don't see
in the
that.
dirt. I don't see it either.
Yeah.
Meteor coming from the sky. Anyways, really interesting to say the least.
And one way to know if it's a meteorite, somewhere around it will be some smaller stones just like this one, and they'll be extremely heavy. If this is the magnetic anomaly, I don't know if I brought a magnet with me, but it is possible to walk down and get close to it. I don't know if I brought
I'm not
magnet.
going to touch it or anything like that, but it's really, we could walk on this trail back here and see what we see.
Walking down to see if that's magnetic. But I got to see if I have a magnet on me that's easy to get to.
And there's water coming through underneath it,
yes,
too.
Yes,
I don't know if that's something we should collect any of, but
I'm not.
I don't think I want to either. I think I'd rather go to the spring.
You want to? Now I got a magnet.
I'm going to go around the side. Oh, so the Cherokee Indian were the one that cut the rock to make pottery off of.
Okay. So it was much bigger.
So these cuts were over the course of 3,000 years, but the original rock landed or was originally began quarrying the soaps over 3,000 years ago. I don't know. It was not much later after quarrying at the site that they found the petroglyphs were inscribed into the rock. Archaeologists estimate that most of the glyphs are between 300 and 1,500 years old. What do these markings tell us?
So, isn't it a possibility when they were scraping stone off of here to use it for pottery, that some of the designs could have been cut in since they killed the original people?
That's what it says, yeah.
Yeah, where soapstone bowls were made was cut from the main rock. So the designs could have been cut by the people.
So many of them were, yeah. That's such an interesting rock, though. There's so much.
Archaeologists estimate that most of the glyphs are between 300. So, what they're saying is, let's say the glyphs were carved into this from 300 to however far back that the Cherokee ruled this area, which wasn't much more than 900 years. That they
only began, apparently the first carvings were over 3,000 years ago.
But that wasn't the Cherokee. That was the Iroquois.
Are you sure it was the Iroquois? Where did it say the Iroquois?
Because they're the oldest civilization.
How do you know it wasn't Sumerians or Nordics or who knows what?
I just was studying the history early.
Or Africans. That looks like...
The Africans are... The Iroquois are Africans.
Okay, so that's your interpretation that it's the Iroquois. That's cool.
Well, that's one of the things they say. Is that the Iroquois were the first 5 tribes on the East Coast. The first 5.
Here's a rock if you want to see how heavy it is, but I don't think this is from that site. It feels kind of like something else. I mean, it's got an interesting shape. It seems more like cement or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where this is. This looks more like that. So let's put that there. Yahe, I kind of feel bad about getting too close to it, okay? I'm not.
On my way over now, I did my ground analysis.
What does the top look like?
Just like it looks.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to use the camera close up for any reason?
It looks good. I think you can get this better from far away.
Yeah, me too. So that was our first pilgrimage stop, Judaculla Rock.
Yeah, nothing here is magnetic.
Ah, and he tested it and doesn't seem to find anything magnetic. Still really interesting.
But it makes sense that they were the Cherokee, being that they were one of the new tribes supported by the conquerors in this area, that it would make sense that they were carving this up thinking it was pottery and not knowing that ancient symbols were left here by the people before them. Some of these symbols you can find in the petroglyphs, even in the caves, and wow, there's a man appearing to play with a ball here. They have stories of humans in these petroglyphs here. When you look at them real close on there, I can't see them in the rock as clear as I can see them on there, on the picture, but definitely there's a lot of human and lizards.
Yeah, I'm feeling the lizard vibe. I'm feeling the snake vibe. I'm feeling like the big dragonflies,
humans,
kind
so
of
vibe.
Story like almost like maybe somebody flew it in, magnetically levitated it in.
No. Before the Cherokee invaded this area,
like a surfboard, like a
and
big
helped destroy the natural dark-skinned people that was here. They didn't know the story that the dark-skinned natives were writing on this rock. So what they were doing is using it for pottery. They didn't know this was a story.
Mm-hmm.
So they've destroyed part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
See? Part of the story that was in the rock, I would say they
see these two little dimples in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Almost like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a couple of them.
But like I said, when you look at it there, you can actually see the detail.
And look at this, what's almost natural, and then there's this really, see the edge?
That's where they were chopping it off.
Well, do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Because if they're using it for pottery, they didn't know they were destroying ancient stories.
I think that's definitely there in the corner, because that's what it's documented as. But over here, I wonder, is that the natural edge, or is that where it was chipped off? It's possible both. Because it almost looks like...
See right there, straight down? That looks almost like rock. Right there in the dirt right there.
that was chipped off, right?
So it looked like something was chipped up high, but the bottom part of the rock is still there in the dirt.
Okay.
I would love to go down there and touch it for you, but I don't want to give these people a false sense that they can just walk down there like I did, but they may anyway. Good day, folks. Super good. See this big old chunk right there, Jenny? That's a piece that was knocked off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it might even fit right in the side there.
Okay. Fascinating. Interesting. You ready to move on?
As you are. You know me.
I think so.
I'm groovy.
So I'm going to end this video. That was our first video for our pilgrimage and trip to Judaculla Rock. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. That was a journey and a pilgrimage.
Right on, right on.
And now we're going to go find some sacred water. To fill up our jugs. We have jugs and we're just going to get some water. It's always nice to get water from the mountains.
Can you see any of those human-like shapes on the rock?
Oh, yeah.
I can't see them. I'm legally blind. But I can see them in the picture.
Yeah?
But I can't see them there.
Yeah, it's also kind of fading now, so it's kind of hard to see anyway.
Oh, so y'all, it's hard for you to see them on the rock,
it's kind
too.
of hard to find.
Okay, so we're on the same page, even though I can't see them. It's kind of interesting how so often in history,
I'm just turning.
so often in history, things like this get destroyed a little bit because the people that come in next don't know it was a point of history that was being kept by another people.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's good they made some good pottery out of it because the ancestors would say that was okay. And then we get a chance to know that it's even older than when the Cherokee were here making pottery with. You know, the pyramids are a lot the same now. The Arabs that are the keepers in the desert nowadays have no concept of what that meant to us, who were the original Kemites and the Nubians of Northern Africa at the time. And that's why it's easy for them to allow them to be destroyed and disrespected, because it's not there.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't feel like an attachment to it. You know?
Financial attachment.
Yeah, that's true.
Economic attachment. Yeah, I just heard about one of the newer burial sites the Arabs were digging up in the Sahara. Thousands and thousands of horns and different things that were buried into these mass graves from the sky. They just look real, real long. And they haven't figured out why or what, you know, why the people did it. But somebody said, material. Yeah. Well, my name is Yahe. This is Journey.
Nice to meet you.
I've been living in the Carolinas off and on since the 80s. In Asheville, probably last 10 years.
Love Asheville.
Yeah.
Beautiful city.
And I'm living in Michigan right now, just coming down to make sure all my little summer venues are in place.
Well,
So,
what other places do you have?
Yeah.
well, I hang out a lot at the French Bride Co-op in Asheville. That's one of the places where I set up. And also Ben's Tune-Up. These are another venue in town. And then a lot of the different breweries like Highland, Pisgah.
Yeah.
When they're having events, sometime I'll set up my art there. But sacred sites, we're just now, this is a trip that I don't have to work and make money. And hanging out with my friend Journey to just see sacred sites.
Yeah.
Right?
So, wait, question. So you said you were legally blind, right?
Yes, I am.
Have